Hey guys, this is McDouble. Today I got a review on this alcohol stove. Now, I bought this from Amazon, and I'll provide a link to the one I bought down below in the description. And it said on Amazon that the brand was called Outad, or O-U-T-A-D, but the one I got is a different brand name, and I don't know how to pronounce it. It looks like Alocs, but either way, it's pretty much the same product. It's Chinese. A lot of them are the same with different brand names. So the reason I bought this was because it was really cheap and really small, and I wanted it for something like a bug out bag or a 72-hour bag. And while I do have a really nice MSR Dragonfly and I considered a MSR Whisperlight, I felt like carrying one of those or leaving one of those in a bug out bag that I don't really want to have to go into ever would be too much. I wanted something that's really small and really cheap. So here it is. It comes in this little pack with a drawstring. Compared to the lantern I reviewed recently, it's really small. Now that's just a fire steel on top that didn't come with. So you pull the drawstring and it reveals the entire system inside. Now the reason I don't want to have something like a Whisperlight from MSR in my bug out bag is I'm going to be tempted to use it when I go camping, and then if I take it out, I might forget to put it back in the bag. So I wanted something that I know I'm just going to leave in the bag at all times and not ever use unless I really need to in an emergency. Now, these are really simple. There's a little simmer plate on top. With a cap you can actually seal it off when you're not using it. And you fill it up with denatured alcohol. I'm sure there's different types of fuel or alcohol types, but the kind I was recommended was denatured alcohol. And you basically just fill it up and light it, and it starts a flame. So it's really simple, really small, and pretty much what I was looking for in a 72-hour bag. Now this simmer plate can also put the flame out by covering it like that, or you can actually turn it like that, and that way you can control the heat somewhat. It's not very fine-tuned, but the option's there. So the fuel I will keep in a half-liter bottle. Now this is made by Trangia, who does make alcohol stoves, and this is the fuel I got. I got it at a Mills Fleet Farm. It was only $5.99 for this 1-quart bottle. It says it's for marine fuel, or marine stoves. So it is clean burning, but it is in the paint section by the paint thinner, so it's a little hard to find if you don't know where you're looking. I also have this little funnel from my MSR stove that has a screen, so when you're pouring it into the bottle you can make sure no gunk is getting in there. So what's nice about this bottle is when you unscrew the top, that then opens the nozzle and you can press it to let fuel out. So this was literally the first time I have used this, but as you can see, as long as you got it at a good angle, it'll let some out. You might need to just shake it off a little bit, but once you screw the top back down, it shouldn't leak at all. I've tested it out and I haven't found any leaks once it's screwed down. So now let's go ahead and do a 1-liter boil test. So I'm going to be using a 1-liter MSR pot. It's stainless steel. And one thing I wanted to point out is when this fuel lights, it might be really hard to see when it's actually lit. So you'll see here I was striking it over and over, and then I realized after doing it for about 30 seconds that it was actually lit. So be careful when you're doing it. It's really hard to see. You won't be able to see it on camera, at least from this far, very well. But once it's going, I'm going to set a timer on my phone, and we'll see how long it takes for this 1 liter to boil. Now I wanted to point out that it is 39 degrees Fahrenheit, so it is pretty cold. It's above freezing, but it's colder than a lot of people down south are used to. So at about 5 minutes, it's just about starting to bubble on the bottom, but we got a long ways to go. Here at 21 minutes, I checked again, and it's definitely going. It looks like there's starting to be some steam and bubbles on the bottom. But I unfortunately ran out of fuel, and I didn't fill it up all the way. I only filled it up like halfway or 3/4 maybe of the up to the lip of the rim. So if you're going to be boiling as much as 1 liter of water, now you don't want to fill it up past the neck or into the neck of the bottle or can, but at least to the bottom of the neck is probably ideal if you're going to be boiling for a long time or a lot of water. So again, I start the fire, and I didn't pause it during this part, but I did accidentally stop the timer at one time for about a minute on accident, so the final time ended up being about a minute longer. So it's roughly been about half hour, and my timer set 29 minutes, but there you can see it's definitely boiling now. Now that technically might not be a rolling boil because I stirred it with a spoon and it was able to dissipate a little bit. So technically a rolling boil, you shouldn't be able to dissipate the rolling boil by mixing it. So I might have needed a couple more minutes past this to really get a true rolling boil, and if I wanted to truly disinfect the water by boiling it. Now here you can see it's really easy to put out, and that's it. It's really cheap, lightweight stove. It was only $12.99 with free shipping from Amazon if you have Prime at least, and I think this is a really great option for someone looking for just a small backpacking emergency stove. Obviously there's other stoves like the MSR Pocket Rocket or the MSR Micro Rocket now, which are really tiny, but the Micro Rocket is $60. The Pocket Rocket is only $30, but you do need to use one of the MSR bottles with a pump, and it's just really inconvenient. I don't want to have to be fumbling around with a pump. So during an emergency situation where all I want to do is boil water, I think this is a better option because I just got to pour the liquid in and light it, and then it's good to go. So that's my review of this alcohol stove. Like I said, if you're interested in buying one, I'll provide a link down below to Amazon. They're really cheap. And if you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you hit subscribe or like. I'm going to have a lot more videos like this, and all my products I do want to actually show demonstrating, so it's not just going to be some boring unboxing. Until next time, stay safe, and thanks for watching.